What inspired you to help and create this organization called We Love Philly?
Growing up, I always wanted some sort of mentor in my life. I wanted someone that showed me the ropes and somebody that was there for me. My name's Carlos Aponte. I started teaching in an alternative high school for 7 years and realizing that the classroom was actually a source of trauma for a lot of students who either don't know how to read or didn't have good teachers growing up. And I realized after that I had to get students outside of the classroom in order for them to learn. In order to do that, I had to come out of my own shell and I had to go out into the community to help people and to find myself. I used to strap a GoPro to my head and I used to go around Philadelphia, and whoever needed help, I would help them. Didn't matter if it was someone needed help with roofing, if someone needed just a meal to eat, it did not matter. I would help them.
School isn't perfect. Actually, it's far from perfect. Every day, the same four walls, taught by a teacher that doesn't really care that much, gets tiring over time. My original teacher wasn't there, instead I had a sub. His name was Carlos Aponte. He was definitely different. You can tell how passionate he was about education, about actually helping students personally. And when I joined We Love Philly, I was one of the first ones to sign up. I realized how much change could be created with We Love Philly, how much We Love Philly could become something greater, and how much help it gave me and a lot of other students. When I first joined We Love Philly, I started meditating, I started helping the homeless, I started wanting to come to school a lot more. We Love Philly gave me confidence to do a lot more than I felt was capable of myself. There's almost every video created by We Love Philly was edited by me, helped by some other students, and the shirts we created was my design, and I just really am tied to the whole brand of We Love Philly. It's just done so much for me, and I know that it could do so much for other people.
When I started We Love Philly, I was always at home gaming, and when Mr. Aponte came up to me and introduced me to We Love Philly, I decided to try it and see where it leads me. Now I'm volunteering and learning new things. Now that I'm in We Love Philly, volunteering, trying out new things, editing podcast audio, and doing them at the same time. It helped me become more sociable. Before, I used to freeze up and not be able to talk to people. Now I have more confidence in talking. We Love Philly is different than your average school. We Love Philly teaches you how to edit podcasts, how to be in a podcast, how to meditate, how to greet people, how to be more sociable. I want to be able to mentor the new generation and see how strong We Love Philly can become.
Once I saw the students' brains light up that, oh wow, you can go and help people, and that can currency. You can use helping people to bring upon your own happiness, and you can go around helping people to meet people. That really got them curious. So then I started to set up volunteer events for the students, and we went to different nonprofit organizations and we started volunteering with them. I started to see that they started to take ownership of the program, and they were telling me where to volunteer next, and they were telling me what they wanted to do and how they wanted to use some skills that they already had to make We Love Philly better. So that is where the podcast came into play, the volunteer videos, students started writing blogs, and they started to take the We Love Philly brand and they started to make it their own. They started designing the shirts, the masks. During COVID-19, they started to make the music for the podcast, host the podcast. They started to really step into the leadership position. They started to sell their merchandise at different events and start to profit off of different events that we would volunteer at. And it really showed them the premise that when you give love, you get love. After we got the bus, the students saw what was possible when you do give love and how you do get it in return. So that is what brought us to our partnership with One Art Community Center. One Art Community Center is absolutely beautiful. It is a teenager's paradise. There is a farm there, live animals, there's a stage, there's a recording studio, there's a farm-to-table cafe. There is everything you could want to take ownership of your education. Almost everything related to One Art screams ownership and gives students the possibility to make a profit and or take home their education, whether that be selling their merchandise at live events, whether that be performing at live events, whether that be growing their own food and selling the food that they grow or taking the food home to their family. It really teaches them skills that they could use outside of the classroom.
One of the most things I'm excited for is the farm. It's an asset that we can't learn in the city. The farm can help you learn new things. It can be an exercise and also could be a new source of income. It could also be another way to meditate, and it also gives you a new skill.
With taking We Love Philly to One Art, with all the amazing things they have there, another thing we want to do is turn shipping containers into livable spaces. I remember skating down and seeing a lot of buildings and houses I've never seen before, and I'm like, where did these come from? They look so nice. And I'm like, well, that's gentrification for you. And I feel like the shipping container is a stepping stone to getting more educated and learning more about the business aspect, and we could use later on to combat gentrification. We can teach it to our loved ones, our families, people we know, and create another way of taking ownership of our environment and community. As a member of We Love Philly, there's a lot of things that we come together and we do that I never thought that I would see. Like, I actually underestimate the amount of love and ownership this program gives us.
We Love Philly also showed us how to network. We met different people. We also went to Venture Cafe and we interacted with several different business owners and interacted with new technology.
When a student wants to learn and when young people are invested in their education, the possibilities are endless. That's what inspired us to create this video for you today, is because we need help turning One Art Community Center into a place where students can come from all around Philadelphia and take an ownership-based education, have a say in their education, and be a part of the change they really wish to see in Philadelphia. That's what brings us here today, is we're trying to raise for a shipping container so students could learn about home ownership. They can learn plumbing, they can learn electric, they can learn everything that you need to learn when it comes to buying a property through doing it to a shipping container first. And then the goal is to market the shipping container and rent it out on Airbnb and then be able to profit from this shipping container. So it keeps that ownership cycle going.